Hey everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing the latest book in the Dresden Files series, Skin Game. Now, I am a huge fan of the Dresden Files series. It's certainly one of my favorites. It's one of the few series that I will go out and I will buy in hardcover as soon as it comes out. I very much enjoyed them. I've started reading these about the time when the TV show came out. I liked the TV show a little bit. I thought it was good. I saw it was like, oh, it's based on novels by Jim Butcher. I started reading the novels, and I stopped watching the TV show altogether at that point because the novels were just so superior to what they were trying to show on TV. So this is book 14 in the Dresden Files series, so it's way far into the whole series, and it's one of those series that I would recommend reading from the beginning. There's no real good starting point other than from book one. A lot of the storylines, a lot of what happens goes from one book to the other, and it moves on. Starting off somewhere in the middle of the series, which I know some people do, would be unadvisable to me. I'm not one of those people. If I'm going to start a book series, I'm going to start it from the beginning. I've been told some people go, oh yeah, you can start this book series from book 5 because that's when it actually gets really good, and I have such a hard time bringing myself to do that. So if you're going to read this, I would say start with book 1 and make the long but quite enjoyable trek onto book 14. This specific book has to do with Harry pretty much being told by Mab, the Winter Fairy Queen, that he has to help one of his arch nemesis, Nicodemus, steal the Holy Grail from Hades' vault. So Hades is being the Greek god of the underworld. He has to break in, help Nicodemus steal the Holy Grail, and get out without getting himself killed by Hades and surviving the eventual betrayal by Nicodemus. I love a lot of these books that have to do with Nicodemus. I find him such a great villain, and I'm usually for the types of villains that are more gray area, that have a reason for what they do other than being the mwahaha, I'm evil type person. I like how Nicodemus is just unabashedly evil and insane and knows that he is. He knows what side he is and doesn't care. And for some reason, I just love reading how Jim Butcher wrote him. It's just so enjoyable reading it. In this specific book, I would say that it was very much enjoyable all the way through. I only have one issue that kind of irked me, is during the majority of the Dresden Files series, you know just as much as Dresden does. Pretty much any of the clues that you read, anything like that, some of the details that Dresden notices, some of it is red herrings where Dresden notices it and it could be something important to the story or not important to the story, but usually you have a way of knowing about it, and then later on you go, oh, that's how this object was pertinent, or how this thing was pertinent, or what this person said was pertinent to the story. In this one, Jim had written a whole scene that you didn't get to read about until later. And there's a scene where stuff starts going down and you think, oh crap, Harry's in trouble. How is he going to pull us out? And then it goes, oh, well, back a week ago, this happened. And I really didn't like it. And it's very much out of how Jim had written the rest of the series. It seemed like it was so much out of place in the rest of the series, where you pretty much know what at least Dresden's trying to do, and this whole scene that happened kind of bit me in the wrong way type thing. I didn't like that part. The rest of the book is solid. It's very much enjoyable. I think it also might have come down a little bit to the fact that Jim had written something and goes, I don't know how to give this information to the reader without giving away this entire plot and giving up all this tension that I'm trying to build. I think it might have been something like that, but I don't know. It could have been that he couldn't figure it out, something. I don't even have a good idea of how to change it to make it work better for me. So it could have just been something like that. All in all though, I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. Very enjoyable read. If you're a fan of the series, I got a feeling that you would like this just as much. It's not the best book in the whole series. A lot of people that I know debate about which is the best book in the Dresden series. I don't think that this is going to be one of the ones that people go, this is definitely their favorite book or they're the best book in the series, but I think it's a good addition to the Dresden series as a whole. Very enjoyable. If you like the series, go ahead. If you haven't read the series and you've only heard about it, or you haven't heard about it, read Stormfront. That's the first book. Go pick it up. You can get it in paperback for $6. It's a very enjoyable read, and just start from there. They go by so quickly. It's kind of one of those, most of them are kind of a mystery thriller with magic thrown into it that reads very quickly. There very rarely are there slow parts. Each scene kind of relates to another, that relates to another, so on and so forth. And the character development over all 14 books is just great. All the characters have changed since book 1 to now book 14, but they've also all changed in a realistic way. All the characters have changed since book 1 to now book 14, but they've also all changed in a realistic way. I mean, for the most part, most of these books take place 1 year apart. So book 2 takes place about a year after book 1, I think, and then book 3 takes place a year after book 2, and so on and so forth. And the later ones have a larger gap in between them. But for the character development, it's more gradual. You don't, when the characters start doing something, it almost never feels out of character or surprise. It more seems like, yeah, that's exactly what that character would do in that situation. I've had other books that I've read that all of a sudden the character goes, oh, I'm going to do this, just because it makes the story more interesting, but it's not something the characters would do. This, every single character, every time they do something, it feels something natural to them. Like the story you build in your head, you're like, that was something that Harry would do, or would Murphy would do, or whatnot. It's one of the best parts of this whole series, so I would highly recommend it. Thank you for watching my review. Please leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed the video. I appreciate it. Thank you.